white windowless van? Uh-oh, I better get out of here. Enjoy the show!
Aha! Wait a second, I hear myself twice. Just a second, let me stop and start streams, and we'll be good again. Evil, evil thing. There, now we should be all happy and good. Unfortunately, when I play music, it likes to do that to me. Trolling software. Alright, back and going. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Show X on VTWProductions.com. You're listening live on Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. GMT. Today, October the 5th already. Outstanding. And I am joined, as always, by our good friend Ken. How are you doing today, sir?
Hello. I am absolutely fantastic. I'd like to actually first give a big apology to everybody for missing last week's show. I'm sorry that I dropped the ball on that one. My wife, Miss Kitten Features, was a little bit sick, and I had to tend to the poor lady. So apologies for that. But here we are back, and at full strength, and a little bit extra, you might say.
We do, but I do get to do this to you, Ken, because I don't get to do this nearly enough.
Noob! Need to play.
Just for you, yes. Yeah, you should have had the show. Just saying. Yes, we are joined today by a special guest. Many of you have heard him as Ken. I think you just had it mentioned before. From all the way back, listening to music from him on Alpha Geek Radio when Gnomewise has played him in the past, who are good friends over there at Alpha Geek Radio, the casuals. But we are joined today by musical sensation Brad Sucks. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. We're very, very glad to have you here. Thank you for joining us. So we're going to do a little bit of an interview style, more of a general chat, I would say, though. So I have a few questions for you, and so does some of the listeners, and so do I'm sure Mr. Wynn does as well. And if you have any questions for us, always feel free to ask. So I have my first thing, and it's something I bet you've addressed 1,000 times in the past. Why do you suck?
Well, that's up to the listener. But the name came from, I had been doing a lot of projects where I wasn't using my real name, like doing aliases and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then I thought, if I was gonna go and like try really hard at something, that I would like use my real name. So I wanted to just call it Brad, but that was taken by members of Pearl Jam. So then me and a friend were sitting around trying to come up with, suitable names with Brad in it, and that one made me laugh, and seemed like it would stand out, and only mild regrets.
Mild regrets. Is it just because in general, if someone has that as a thing they can call you by, they tend to emphasize it?
No, it's more, I don't really care about that. It's more like going through customs. Like, what do you do, sir? And you're like, oh, musician. And you're like, oh, really? What's the name of your band? Like, Brad Sucks. My name's Brad. It's a joke. And they just kind of are like, please move along, sir.
Nice.
Never mind when you go and do a podcast and we say, welcome, Brad Sucks.
Yeah, well, that comes with the, I like having that stuff yelled at me, like, on stage and stuff. That's
definitely.
It's more like when somebody is not, I don't know, they're just finding me to be weird.
Exactly, instead of the,
kind of awkward.
Yeah, because if people know you and they're yelling out Brad Sucks, it's great. It's when they add something else to it that it probably gets a little more harsh.
That's just lazy writing right there.
If you don't already, I think we should create a little fan club called Brad Doesn't Suck. That seems like the obvious fan club name right there.
Well, that is the thing. I get a lot of, because of the name, people will come up to me and, you're actually all right. And, I feel like it has like a little built-in like prompt for a compliment. So that works in my favor. Like, you don't.
That's
suck,
a good
man.
point. Yeah. Oh, definitely. So. We've been trolling through your Wikipedia and the likes and looking around online at all your stuff.
No.
We've been listening for years. We thought we had to look up some more information about you. We now know all the websites you own. We now know where you're from. The one thing it doesn't mention though is how did you actually get into the whole creating music online, and especially pod-safe music. That's kind of a niche market right there. Most people obviously go down the mainstream of doing live shows and selling the music and then making it all, these rights are all mine, nobody else can touch these, you can't play this anywhere without my permission. So how did that come around?
Well, I started really early. Like, the only reason why I really got into doing music, I mean, I was making music, but I had no idea how to get it to people, or like make an actual run at trying to have a career or whatever. So, but then Napster came along, and huge phenomenon, and everybody just started trading MP3s. And I was like, oh, okay, so instead of, getting noticed by A&R, touring, all that sort of stuff, I just have to make these little files and get them out to as many people as possible, with my music in it. So I sort of just started doing that, and it was the right time, right place, I guess. So
definitely. It's a very important time in our internet history is when we started, Napster started along, and it's quite amazing that you actually thought of it back then. Now is the time for me to jump on this and use this new tool to share my music and get it out there, and clearly it worked very well. So that's a very impressive feat.
I also had there was Scott Adams, the cartoonist for Dilbert. He had a really good, he had some really good advice to cartoonists that I read a while back and thought it really applied to music at the time, which was, how do you know you're funny, or how do you know you're good? And that the only way you can know whether your stuff's worth anything is if you pass the copy test, meaning that somebody who doesn't care about you, isn't your mom or your friend or whatever, they take your stuff and either, photocopy it, put it on their wall, or, burn a CD and give it to a friend. And I was like, okay, well, that's what I gotta do. I gotta get people to like make copies of my stuff. If it's any good, that'll happen.
That's a good point, actually. Let me do a little bit of live research. You might know the answer yourself. Are you on Pirate Bay? There's a question for you. Let's have a look.
Yeah, I don't know where I'm lately, but I'm on most of those. Yeah.
You are. People are stealing your music, even though it's already pod safe. That's interesting.
No, you say stealing. Pirate Bay is just a place where you can find people who share things, much like back in the days of Napster.
Of course.
Companies legitimately use it when they don't have the resources themselves. But no, it's neat that you bring that up about Napster, Brad, because I was really a proponent of it back in the day. It was this new, wonderful, shiny thing. This technology allowed me to just reach into other people's collections, share the music they had, and if I found people that had similar interests, it's a great way to find other songs I might love. And I had a unique experience where my older brother was out in San Francisco working with a company that unfortunately went away. It was called Music Buddha back in the day, but they were trying to find ways to promote especially lesser-known artists by finding music that was similar to other music you already liked. Wonderful concept they had. They were just a little ahead of their time. But they were going through that boom right when Napster was at its height, and all the music industry was basically rebelling and trying to find ways to shut it down. And so it's really great to hear that you instead looked at that as an opportunity to get involved with the industry and really to throw yourself out there to the world to be noticed versus seeing as a threat to like how you'd make money or something like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I wasn't making any money. I figured I had nothing to lose by doing it. I mean, worst case scenario was nobody pays attention and I make no money or get no fans. And so it's like a harder deal for somebody who has stuff on the line to like choose to like, screw it. I like getting these checks, but for weird moral reasons, I'll just decide to not
to throw it out there and such. Well, it was interesting because I know what my brother was trying to do was push the industry to instead look at ways to monetize the sharing instead of just trying to shut it down, because they basically said you will never beat it. I mean, yes, Napster eventually died, but there's still always going to be ways out there to acquire. So it was like, instead, let's look at how you can use this to make it useful for you and so that you can maybe find new ways to monetize. And that goes again into kind of what Ken was talking about with the pod safe and just being out there in a way that's very friendly to the community, where you're not trying to make money by, going after everybody you can find that might have, decided to come across your music and share it.
Yeah, though it is weird now, like, 12 years later, having done the pod safe thing, and, it's been awesome. But now there's like a lot more revenue people get from like YouTube views and streams like that. And because I let people use, I was all, hey, use your stuff in my video. I can't collect any of that stuff. Or else
the monetization back, unfortunately, means that you can hear yourself out there and say, wait a second, that wasn't mine.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, what are the ways that you primarily monetize? For those fans of yours that are out there and looking for ways to support you, since you've done so much for the community and allowing your music to be available, what do you look for monetization? I know that people can go grab your albums via iTunes, Amazon, things like that. Are there other ways other than, of course, seeing you live?
Just direct on my website's good, but all those other things are nice as well. The like iTunes is fine and Amazon is cool. Come to a live show, but I don't tour that often, so good luck with that.
Fair. It's one of those things. It's hard because I know that there's a lot of different artists that aren't kind of those mainstream big ones that we like to check out. Some other friends that we've had on our network, like the Double Clicks and Molly Lewis and other groups where they do tour on occasion, but they have kind of their niche audiences and places they go, or they only hit certain regions. Because, of course, unless you get tied into a large tour or something like that you have going on, it's kind of hard for people to necessarily come out and find you. So it's good to know, though, that they still have reach into being able to hear you online through go out, purchase the music, check out videos, and you'll be able to catch everything that Brad Sucks puts out there. So it's good that we can still get to you.
Yes, the miracle of the internet.
Definitely. So I've got a couple questions from the IRC, a good few actually. First of all, it's from Hando. Hando asks, what is Brad's primary instrument and how long has he been playing various instruments?
Primary is guitar, like electric and acoustic, and I think I started playing that when I was like 8 or so. I think I started taking crappy lessons and was really bad. And so that, and then I play kind of a little bit of everything else. This past year I've been playing drums a lot.
That's cool. Is that a hint towards your next album then?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a lot more stuff with some live drums on the next thing.
That'll be cool.
I probably won't be playing it because I'm not good enough, but but I'm learning to play the drums so that I can write better parts.
That's cool. So do you often get other people involved in your music, or do you tend to do a lot of the composing and playing yourself?
So far with my 3 records, I think I play everything on it, on all 3 of them. But
nice.
The next one, I'll probably get my live band in.
Okay, that was going to be my next question, actually. So do you have a live band for when you do occasionally tour then?
Yeah, we got a 4-piece, and it's a fun rockin' show.
So no, this is good. This is good. What I'm hearing is Brad Sucks is essentially the next Trent Reznor out there. Basically do and produce and write and create all of it yourself, which makes it epic. And then, I guess I can't do it all by myself on stage, can I? Huh.
Yeah, I tried that for a while. It just didn't come off well.
So drums, bass, guitar, singing. Yeah, I can see why that could be a bit tough for.
Well, doing like backing tracks and stuff, and it was just lonely and scary and not fun.
There's something exciting with playing with a band as well. It adds a certain flavor to it because you can enjoy it with other people rather than you being the sole attraction.
Plus, they're way better players than I am, so I can sort of hide.
So you say. We can kind of get the hint that you may have a little bit of self-deprecating self there, Mr. Brad Sucks.
Yeah, maybe.
What are your major influences? And I assume this is not in terms of drugs and alcohol. I assume this is more along the lines of musical.
Yeah, actually, you just mentioned Trent Reznor and that sort of 90s industrial type of stuff, like Skinny Puppy, Nine Inch Nails, Ministry. Those were all like groups that I was really into, and that all were kind of like either solo people or like duo, and they were mostly like making all their stuff on computers or producing it all themselves. So that made it seem really doable.
Yeah,
That's
something where you could see there and say, okay, if these guys can do it and be as great as they are, then why can't I?
Yeah, exactly. Of course,
That's
you
good.
find out later that they have tons of people helping them.
Yeah, it's
I was like, oh my god, Trent Reznor is such a genius. He did everything by himself. Oh, except for the producer, Flood, who worked with U2 and does all sorts of other amazing songs.
yes.
Like,
Well, it's one thing to
damn
be.
it!
It's one thing to be that creative genius behind it, that you're able to really get it going and have the idea and structure for what it is you want to get across. It's a whole other thing to make it all happen.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I liked that. I also liked, a lot of punk stuff as well. So, and it kind of had a DIY ethic to it.
That's cool. No, it's good to hear that you actually have tastes that are similar to your own. You didn't just go, I love classical music now, I'm going to write this kind instead. It's good that you have a nice range as well. That's cool. I've got another question for you.
I'll say, it's funny because a lot of these are coming from Hando, and just so you know, it's because in our audience, he's our audio tech. He runs a switch. He runs a switchboard for a lot of different performances and things that occur around his town.
yeah.
And so whenever we get anyone that's in the industry for music or just anything audio related, he geeks out and he really gets excited. I mean, if he has the opportunity, and I think he even mentioned some of it, he'll get into the questions of like, so what kind of DAC do you use, or what specifically, or the length of cables? He gets really into that. So don't be surprised if you keep hearing his name.
Well, just to prove we have other people listening, Cupcheck says, wait, is PodSafe music normally free? And with podcast safe music, what are the odds of it getting flagged as music for YouTube videos? I assume that by that he means copyright flags. This is a thing we've come into before. So we've got a few deals and contracts with a few companies and musical people out there who let us use their music completely for free and with all the rights to it and the like, so we can completely throw it out there on our shows. But then Google says, wait a minute, that's copyright. Somebody else wrote that. You cannot use that, and ban hammers it straight away. So that might actually happen today. We'll see with this show. But if that happens, we'll always complain again. But back to the question: would you think in the community that you listen to, the PodSafe kind of music, do you think it's normally free, or do you think there's sort of a culture around it that it has to be free?
I don't know. Honestly, I haven't paid that much attention to it for a while. I remember putting my stuff on the old PodSafe network way back. But I think it's just a matter of whether they sick the collection agencies on you, and that's
true.
PodSafe. I've had a few problems, as we were mentioning about YouTube. So I don't collect that stuff or force people to put ads on their videos or whatever.
Yeah.
If they're using my music. But I've had a few things where I agreed to allow somebody to remix my stuff.
Sure.
And they released an album, and they're enforcing their copyright on the remixed version of my song.
See,
that's a bit dodgy, that side, yeah.
No, that's very dodgy.
So then I get complaints from the person with the video saying, "Hey, you said I could use your stuff," and I'm like, "Well, that's not actually my album track, and I don't get why." Yeah, I don't know. It's a world of rules that I don't enjoy even thinking about.
And it must be worse because it depends on country, and it depends on states
exactly.
laws and so it can change from left, right, and center.
I'm sitting
not only
here
that,
writing a nice email to a label in Israel asking them to kindly. They're they really give a shit about what I am asking them for.
Yeah. It also depends, of course, because there's a huge pool of laws surrounding it in terms of whether you can write it, you can remix it, you can sell it, you can redistribute it, and so on and so forth. We obviously looked into Creative Commons quite a lot since a lot of our podcasts and the network are actually based in Creative Commons. So it must be tough if you just say something, of course you can remix it, without realizing the other half of it,
It's kind of annoying because I always wanted to be, as I always thought the copying, the spreading, that was all good stuff. And now there's at least a few areas where I'm kind of being forced to tell people no or be really deliberate. I don't know.
You have to be very careful with your language as you deal with certain kind of situations. Because the worst thing you do, and this is something I can only imagine the potential pain of it would be if you ever heard one of your songs or something come up in, heaven forbid, a movie trailer soundtrack or something like that. Just something where you're like, whoa, that is big commercial. That is not
Yeah.
the intent of this. You know, you do
Right.
need to pay me. You know, something like that.
Well, most of those companies, they don't screw around. I mean, I've I've done a few deals with like MTV and things like that, and they're not listening to anything about like, oh, we can do it for free, Creative Commons. They do not care. They have a whole team of lawyers.
Yeah, exactly.
They're like, no, pay the boy.
Yeah,
You
let's
know,
just
get him to sign this contract. We are not dealing with this. We're not putting this movie trailer out and then having him change his mind.
That is darn smart of them. It makes sense. Well, and it's funny because bringing up any of the legality of stuff with internet and music, it's unfortunate that is kind of one of those key topics or one that comes up all the time. But at the same time, it's one of the most enforced and active things that you run into on any of the different copyright stuff. Because one, when you have things like YouTube, and it's now happened to us in the gaming community as we look at the streaming service of Twitch, where they are using algorithms essentially to automatically tag songs that are out there and then doing determinations based on what that algorithm does. It comes out and says, we think this belongs to a content that's been flagged as copywritten, and they just instantly react instead of going through any kind of manual process. And so that you do have to be very aware.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's what's happening with like the remixes on YouTube of me. They're like, oh, we detect the melody, we detect, I don't know, whatever voice characteristic or something, and then it's similar enough. The remix is similar enough to the album one or whatever.
Yeah, and that's what it tags, because that's happened to us with one of our really good friends that's going to be on with us, hopefully, I forget if it's a week or two, is one of our friends, the Brew Guy. Essentially, he got famous for doing a lot of remixes of songs all based around the game World of Warcraft and some of the gaming culture and things like that. So whenever we try to play his music, because he's like, oh yeah, feel free. That's great for us, except that all his stuff are remixes, and so when it sounds like AC/DC, that really quickly gets flagged and says you're not allowed. So,
but don't worry, we can promise you that any money that the show makes, which is
nothing,
don't worry, it goes into just trying to cover the costs of doing the show. So don't worry about that.
I was hoping to get a retirement plan out of this.
Yes, every time we play, you'll get all 100% of the non-profit.
There's 17 cents.
So, okay, we've been talking a lot about like the music industry and kind of the legality around music and stuff like that. What I'd be curious too, because we have more discussions in here about you specifically. And let's see, I saw another one, Hando, where he was talking about not just, it says, okay, yeah, talking about gear again, because again, this is what he does. He says, is there any retro gear that you're very fond of? And I'm assuming, again, music related.
I'm not really much of a retro guy. I tried this year. I was like redoing my recording stuff to try and kick it up a quality notch, and I went through using like some old compressors and tube preamps.
Oh, okay.
Like from UAD and stuff like that. But I don't know. I don't like it. I find it noisy, and they're huge and expensive, and I don't like having to connect things. I like working all in the box if I can.
Well, no, that's great, because you actually answered his next question, which is Brad all digital? Although he does talk more about your live performance. Do you use analog and digital?
I think I'm all, well, I mean, a little bit analog. You can't escape that. But
yes.
But yeah, I
just
use UAD Apollo Twin. That's what I'm using now, and then I have emulated vintage plugins that you buy through them.
Ah, nice.
I think you just made his week by saying that.
Yeah, exactly. You're speaking his language right at that level.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So we've got a couple questions here from Hando and from Cupcheck again. What is the best and the worst venue you've ever played? You don't need to actually say the names of the places. Maybe just a tale of your experiences.
Let me see. Best was probably, I don't know, probably like the last CD release party. It was really good. Lots of people came out. It was a fun time. Worst, there's so many to choose from. Just trying to pick one where it's not throwing somebody I know under the bus.
Oh no.
Okay, well, probably there was one I did locally that was for this thing called Super X, like a festival fair type of thing around here.
Okay.
And it was it wasn't the least number of people that I've played in front of, but there were giant bleachers in front of us with 10 people scattered out on us. So it was the proportion. You're just there playing, just staring at this giant empty.
Oh gosh.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, it was great.
You can always make use of that though. You can use it as a sort of
and
an
the other thing
opportunity.
too was they when you finish, you go to the little green room, which is just like a trailer thing, and they have a video of your performance on the screen that they're trying to get you to buy for like $60.
What? My god. That's horrible. You're going to their venue to play their audience, and they're trying to make you buy something of them.
Yeah, and the worst thing was they kept cutting to the empty seats. I guess they just had it on a
like an automatic kind of.
Yeah, but I was like, okay, if you just zoomed in on us and just got like the performance, it might be usable. But if you just keep cutting to these giant empty white bleachers that I'm playing to,
it's like, here's what I was.
I'm not paying money for that.
Yeah, thanks for the reminder, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, anybody want to see the saddest show I ever did? Pop it in. I paid good money for this.
Oh, ouch. Oh, so it's funny because you're hinting at how you didn't want to throw anyone under the bus there. Do a lot of your performances and the way you do get booked, is it because of connections you have, friends you know, or someone who's like, oh man, you really got to come check out this, man, you really need to come play with us here?
Yeah, I've had some of that stuff. I've had record labels, take me places and like do sort of like a tryout thing, and those were all miserable. And but it was very nice of them to
think of you,
flip the bill for me to go out there and everything. I don't just be like worst.
Nice.
Hate those guys.
Well, at least to give you some experience. That's what you can always say. That's the positive spin on that.
Yeah,
there you go.
Exactly. Experience to emotionally recover for like 2 years.
Oh. So, I was gonna say, I can only. Go ahead, Ken.
There you go. We're too nice to each other that way. Another one from Hando. Hando, come on, man. What model of guitar do you have? I suppose you probably have a few. So let's just go with what's your favorite one then.
Well, for electric, I just use a Tele, and then I have like an old Gibson backup one. I actually only have 2 electric guitars, and one of them is a piece of junk. So I'm actually, I've got lots of friends who aren't working musicians who have just so many more guitars than me.
Oh wow.
I just I don't know. I try to avoid getting into like gear collection. I don't know.
It can be easy, yeah. It's not necessary as well. You don't need 10 variants of a very similar guitar,
Yeah, the only thing I wish I had done early on was like figure out what a good guitar sounded like versus the crappy one I had. Like I should have at least tried a good guitar. Like I'm happy with mine now, but there were definitely a bunch of years where I was like, I should probably ask someone if all this buzzing is normal.
You weren't going for that signature sound. It was just kind of something that was there.
Yeah, it just magically, randomly happened.
The stuff where it's like, no, I know this is Brad Sucks. Can't you hear the little that undertone in the background, right?
And now I hear it. I'm just like, mistakes.
Well, it makes you feel better. I've never heard any continuous buzzing in the song that's not intended to be. Any songs that intend to be there anyway.
No, I think I managed to keep most of that stuff out, but it was so I don't really have too much in the way of guitar or fun gear.
That's cool. It's interesting to hear that actually, because I know I've had a collection of about 9 guitars over the years, and I'm very much an amateur.
I was gonna say, just as Brad, as you were mentioning, for all those friends that aren't actually musicians or aren't performing, Ken falls directly into that category. He collects.
Yeah. I like to think I can play, but that's a big difference.
I have this other problem that I'm left-handed, so it's harder to buy guitars. So that also helped me to not get into having a collection.
Because you can always learn to play upside down.
Yeah, I did that for a while, but on my first Wayne's World electric guitar.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. Okay, here's a couple of cool ones actually. Have you ever had your music featured on a game or movie or any sort of media elsewhere?
Yeah, my stuff's been in a lot of things. I don't think I've heard of like movies. I do my stuff's in a lot of TV shows, or I shouldn't say a lot, but a bunch. It was in one called Man vs. Food.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we know that. Yep.
And I don't know. There's a lot of sports videos as well. Like, I don't even know the names of kiteboarding. That's the type.
Oh, okay.
Apparently there's a bunch that have my music on it.
Did they not tell you? Did they just use it?
I remember at some show, a guy came up to me and was just drunkenly talking to me about kiteboarding, and I was like, I don't even know what you're saying to me. But yeah, anyway.
That was like one of your first hits of like, wait, why does everybody keep asking me about kiteboarding? What is this?
Everyone at my show is in really good shape.
Yeah.
And then I've done a few contract things where I did stuff. I'm working on one now that's pretty fun. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to.
Yeah, anything that you can or can't mention?
Yeah, well, I'm working on this Bee and Puppy Cat series by Natasha Allegri. She was on Adventure Time. And
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
that's
nice.
So, yeah, I'm working on that now. So that's
Very cool. Well, we will look forward to that.
That's pretty awesome. So, in terms of things away from music, what are your other hobbies and things you enjoy doing in your spare time? Have you ever had any other sort of career options? Do you do anything else, or do you just stick with the musician side of things?
Yeah, I started out as like a web programmer type of guy doing goofy web projects and things like that. And then I got into, around the time I started music, like putting the Brad Suck stuff online. When that wasn't paying, I was doing web programming. And now I still do a bit on the side of that, just because it's nice to have reliable billable hours rather than the chaos that is music royalty stuff.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
it's nice to actually have an idea of what the check's going to be like.
Yeah, it's nice to know that you can pay rent or mortgage or something on a regular occurrence.
Or, do an hour's worth of work and get money for it. Whereas
Yes.
when I sit down and spend, a couple days like finishing a song, I'm like, okay, well that could pay me money for the rest of my life in a couple years. I don't know.
Eventually, maybe, hopefully.
Yeah, like, I've got old songs that are making money for me, but and probably have exceeded, definitely the hourly rate that I put into it, but that's not a guarantee when you sit down
Of course.
and work on a new song.
Yeah, you could spend 1 hour making enough for the rest of your life, or 6 months spending doing half an album, which lasts you for one drink. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. But as for the web developer side of things, I can see where you came across finding about media sharing online and the likes. It's interesting how that links
Yeah,
together.
I was really into the internet and stuff like that, so it was fortunate that I had like music stuff pretty much ready to go as soon as I realized that was, that there was this new distribution way to do it.
Cool.
Other
and
than
back
that,
to-
I basically just like video games and sitting around.
Yes!
Hey,
All right.
video games. That's
Now
what
you-
I like to hear.
Yeah, you
Okay,
opened
console
Pandora's
or
box
PC?
with that.
Oh yes, you have. Are you more of a console or a PC gamer?
Uh-oh.
More PC, but I do have an Xbox 360.
Yes!
Correct answer. Correct
Yes!
answer. Well
Oh, is
done.
it?
PC Master Race. Good man,
PC
good man.
Master Race, Yep.
Yeah.
We're big advocates here on Show X of better graphics, faster loading times, more enjoyable gameplay, immersive experiences, and all that stuff.
Best controller ever.
Yeah. So, what kind of games do you play then? Just list a few.
Well, the one that I was just playing before this actually is Divinity Original Sin.
Oh.
It's like a RPG, kind of
Yep.
like the old Ultima games.
I've got that on Steam actually. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. I like it.
That's cool.
What else did I play? Been kind of rolling through a lot of them. I played Watch Dogs on the Xbox.
What were your thoughts on Watch Dogs? Because I enjoyed it. I thought it was a nice sort of gimmick. I played a couple hours, then I didn't feel like finishing it.
Just the story was so dumb, and
Yeah.
I'm just tired of. I played Assassin's Creed 4 before it, and they're kind of like similar. I mean, they're from the same company.
Yeah, it's got that same
and they have
open
really
world
similar
feel.
mechanics,
Yeah.
and also same love of their just shitty cutscenes. that I can't. I just want to destroy it.
They can't get to the skip cutscene button not quick enough.
Yeah, and some of them don't have it. And,
Oh,
That's always the worst. Yeah.
so yeah, those were fun, but nothing that I really got into. I like a good action game, but I like a good story in my games.
I say it's never bad to have a good story. To heaven forbid, make me compelled to be in the universe. Besides just because I get to shoot things or cut things up or something.
It also seems like the easiest part. Like, you don't have to be an engineer or have any computer science stuff. You just have to write believable characters. I mean, not that it's easy, but
True.
you can you can hire people who can write.
So you see, you said a key piece there. You'd have to hire someone that can write.
Well, what do they do now? Just get somebody's nephew to do it?
So I really wonder if they don't just grab some guy, the intern that comes in and says, okay, look, we got this great game engine and we kind of know where we want to put them. Could you somehow string these together so they're saying something?
The ad guys say we must have hacking.
Yeah.
Do something with hacking.
Oh, God, Watch Dogs hacking. Push button A to hack.
Yeah, knowing what I know about, those big companies and stuff, I'm sure it starts off with a guy who is actually a good writer, who pitches a good story, and then it just gets ruined by everyone like above him.
Yes.
Yeah, they say that won't sell. That won't sell.
Yeah.
Besides,
Exactly.
we all know hacking's actually done through incognito mode and saving notepad files as .bat files. That's how it's really done.
Yeah, exactly.
So we brought up something interesting before the show a little bit. We were discussing this is back to the edgy topic again, GamerGate, and so anybody who doesn't know, but listen to our previous shows, we have discussed it at length before. Basically, is this whole problem, let's just say, going on the internet right now, on Twitter, on Tumblr, everywhere you can see, 4chan, on Funny Junk, wherever you want to go, you will find it. Google Plus as well. It's absolutely everywhere. Basically, there is a big problem with corruption in the gaming industry and whether feminism is a thing in gaming. That is the synopsis of this strange argument called GamerGate. It also involves sex, violence, and much else in between. So there's a good few sides to this, and we could probably discuss this for 3 or 4 hours quite easily. But what are your initial thoughts on it? Not necessarily your opinion, but what are your thoughts on the whole thing? Do you think it's a bunch of silliness? Do you think it's something that should be addressed, or do you think it's just something we should brush under the carpet as soon as possible?
Well, I think all the conversation's good. I think that's worth having, but it definitely, I mean, to me, as, an older guy who, I sort of caught the edges of it, of, the outrage and everything, and thought, oh, that's just ridiculous. Why is anybody being, so defensive about games? Like, why would these people threaten anybody or... And I kind of almost didn't believe it. I was like, sort of just, they're just, teenagers screwing around. I mean, I used to troll people on the internet when I was...
Yeah, of course.
It's the internet.
And
you have to.
I would say anything I could to make them mad. Just anything.
Oh,
I was
that
like,
sounds like the gamer community.
I can see why you
Yeah.
have an Xbox now.
So I was sort of, not dismissing it, but I didn't quite pay that much attention. But then I went to Portland and... for the XOXO festival, and Anita Sarkeesian was speaking there, which was really moving because she had to bring her own security, and she got like a standing ovation as soon as she came in, which was cool, and but then there were like these dudes trying to like these, I don't know, they look like 20-year-old, something like that.
Okay.
They were outside the perimeter of the festival place, handing out like leaflets about it was like men's rightsy activism type of stuff, and like trying to buy passes to get in, and that was just creepy as all hell. They had to like have them taken away.
That's a little creepy, the whole infiltrating thing. All for having free speech, Go hand out your leaflets if you want to inside.
But you think of the type of person that is like, oh well, it's Sunday, so I'm gonna go stand all by myself outside this festival that is all about arts and tech and stuff, and I'm going to try to antagonize them and maybe get in, maybe try and sneak my way in and closer to this woman. Like,
yeah,
that is like, I mean, not not saying that that's like every gamer or whatever. But
Oh,
that's,
exactly,
like,
no.
some unstable stuff.
The most stupid thing is, if they are truly fighting the cause of men's rights and the likes, why are they at that place? That's not a good place to hand out your leaflets, sir.
Well, they're trying to.
It's
I mean, I
smart.
guess he's trying to change minds or whatever. But it was really creepy that that these dudes were trying to I don't know, encroach on this. So I don't know. That was just my one little experience, and now I'm like,
Well, no,
I don't know. So
that's
I wound
good
up
to hear.
talking to like sociologists and stuff there, and they had all their various theories about how this is all sort of analogous to, white middle class men feeling threatened. It's the same stuff that causes like school shootings and things like that.
Interesting.
Suppose.
Well, I understand in a way what you're getting at here, because I agree. There's a group of people who feel that they identify with the concept of being a gamer and such, and so when they hear from the edge these people kind of coming off where they feel as though they're being attacked, because as you're talking about being a little older, I'm just older than you are, sir. So
Right.
it's appreciative to finally have someone on the show that's got my background and like
Excellent.
Ken, who's about half our age, but no, it's because we've talked about on our show with how we do not support anyone doing any kind of things threatening or essentially what we categorize overall as being an asshat, where anyone who's doing something that is beyond the norm. It's one thing to have a discussion and to bring your ideals and ideas out for
Yes.
people to talk back and forth about, which, by the way, everyone out there, the definition of a discussion is people that are sharing ideas without the expectation of changing someone else's view. They're just
And without
sharing the
throwing poop at
ideas
the other person as
versus
well.
versus an argument where you have no desire to hear other people's views and you just want to force your views upon someone else. Just as a heads up. So having a open, good discussion about the differences in things and hopefully potential changes in the industry or ways to promote ideas that you think are beneficial is one thing. But those of you that are out there on the fringe that if you hear something you disagree with and so your only reaction is to now become somewhat violent or just so close-minded about it that you can't allow for difference of opinion, stop. You're not representative.
I guess the part that really blows my mind, I guess, is just, I mean, I've been playing games my entire life. Super love games as an art form and entertainment and everything. But who are these people who feel so threatened by a little bit of criticism of games? Like, who's like,
I mean,
you said what about Duke Nukem?
I definitely think we should stop the extremists on the pro GamerGate and the anti GamerGate side, though. I think it should be both sides. I mean, I think there are some people who are saying, shut up, women, you shouldn't be saying these things, it's fine, just shut up, that's ridiculous. And being, like you said, asshats. But then there's also people who are on the other side trying to say women in video games shouldn't get hurt, ever. And it's like, well, no, everybody should get hurt in video games. It's a video game. It's a
people
fictional
saying that?
universe. There's been a raising of this petition online, which is trying to prevent women from. It's a U.S. petition actually for the U.S. laws to try and prevent women ever being hurt in video games. And actually, Far Cry are one of the companies who are implementing it. They said they're not going to be hurting any women in their game anymore.
Interesting.
Sorry, it was God of War. Maybe in God of War, actually. Sorry.
Wow. Wait, how can you do that in God of War?
Yeah, but it's just. I truly do believe in equality, and I think it should be truly equal. I think you shouldn't just. Be it male, female, white, black, whatever, you shouldn't say this section of people are free from what everybody else gets, and it's not fair, I think it's just too active towards trying to make it fair. Even it's just not how it works.
Well, I feel like there's so many crossed messages in this discussion. Like, the stuff that I've watched when people freaked out about Anita Sarkeesian, I watched a couple of her videos and sort of expected her to maybe generalize more, like all gamers are like this or whatever. But she really didn't. She was really thoughtful and even-handed and mostly just criticized it as lazy writing, as we were talking about before. I thought that was cool, but I don't know. I don't even pay attention to the people who are thinking, they should ban something from,
Yeah, and
Anita wasn't even like calling for some sort of change other than, hey, think about how you portray women. Give them some actual roles if you're going to kill them.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. They shouldn't
Heaven
just be
forbid
the helpless women, of course.
Yeah, heaven forbid you give women the ability to speak in a game. and
just
have some
don't just
wealth.
use them as props so that you can seem, edgy because you have some TNA and then you murder the lady. Like, come on, at least make them a real character and, make it, and then kill her.
Well, and I think that's one of the unfortunate things that's happened to this whole argument is how there were two separate kind of pieces that got blended together to really muddy things up. Because there was the media piece. It's like, how do we cover games today? And are we doing an accurate job, or is there some potential, what kicked this all off, is there potential for reviews and such to be skewed because of inappropriate relations or things they're doing that are favoritism essentially in the industry, or are you truly giving a honest, review of something? Versus what got tied to it with this whole women in gaming and things like that, because those started separate.
Right. Yeah, I didn't even really pay attention to the Zoe Quinn. I assume that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
That whole thing is silly.
I found that to be weirdly. I mean, I don't even know. I don't know one way or the other whether it is corrupt or whatever. But the idea that I don't know. Games journalism, actually journalism just in general, is like a horrible business full of corrupt liars. Like, I mean, it's just, they're not all bad, but there's a lot of that. There's a lot of palm greasing. I mean, I'm in the music industry, and man, you wouldn't believe it. Just how much it matters who you're friends with, who you've got the ear of.
It's the same in any industry, to be honest. If you know the boss and you're best friends with his wife, you've got an extra special in there.
Yeah. And I find it weird that people are like, "Oh my God, this can't be happening. This has been going." Like,
this is the basis of how all these things work.
You guys all. I mean, again, I don't know if there was actual issues going on with Zoe Quinn, but the idea that anyone is just like shocked that the noble industry of gaming reviewing might be somehow skewed a little bit towards somebody else. I don't know.
Hey, that favorable review of the Ford Mustang in the issue of Car and Driver or something that's sponsored heavily by Ford is oddly favorable.
Right,
Look at that.
Yeah, I mean, weren't there have been scandals of that with was it GameSpot?
GameSpot,
where they fired a reviewer who gave a shitty review to a game they were financially somehow involved.
Yeah, they were obligated to give essentially a good review, and the company did not agree with the review that he gave, and so he was asked to leave. But that's what came up from it. So I think for us the biggest concern was because there are some of those sites that I have relied on in the past to get a decent review because I don't want to just go out there and throw my money away hoping that a game's going to be good and then be sorely disappointed. And in doing so, I've used this as an opportunity to better assess which sites I get my information from. Yeah. And so, because I know at least here, we try to be very open with disclosure. If there's something like, if I get a review copy of a game, I tell people, someone gave me this review copy. I will try to still be as honest as I can about my experience, and I will definitely tell you if I think it's worth the dollars that you would otherwise have to spend for it.
Right.
I know we've been completely honest with these kind of things in the past. We give our genuine thoughts, and we say, this company was really nice that they gave us this free copy to review. That was really nice to them. They're good people for that. They might not necessarily be good at their job.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the game still bored the tears out of me.
There's that balance with everything like that. I mean, you're getting access to this thing, so they are giving you something.
Yes.
But you have to, it's you develop the trust with your audience that you're not going to screw them around and lie to them, because possibly that then your word is worth nothing.
Exactly.
And why would people continue to listen to your opinion?
And I think the basis of this whole thing is basically, be it whatever side is correct. And the thing is, the whole thing is so muddy because it involves people's personal lives. A lot of it. Be it, and I'm going to bring it up. I'm sorry. Be it Zoe Quinn has slept with people or not. Be it people are being handed money or not. It doesn't matter. It's what the whole side of it that actually matters. Not this one case. Zoe Quinn shouldn't be persecuted for it. It's not fair. We shouldn't attack one person for it. It's a whole culture change that needs to go through. Women need to be portrayed better in games as well, but not just be treated because they're women. It should be all people are treated equally. And journalism should improve as well, but that's kind of a different ball game. That's a bit more difficult to change, I'd say.
Yeah. Talking to this sociologist in Portland, he was really talking about how it's interesting to him because everybody's just talking past each other
Yes.
in this issue, and that even if you could solve like the one issue, like, oh, was the journalism thing, was that a corrupt review or something? There, solved. Okay, let's all agree that wouldn't actually change much because this is a much bigger societal shift.
Absolutely. Well, and I think people are using this as just a way to start kind of, like you said, they're talking past the issue. They're kind of just yelling about things without really trying to address or solve anything. They're just trying to find a way to voice their opinions to make noise and such like that. So who knows what's happening and where we'll go. I don't want to focus on this too much longer just because, we keep going back and forth. I don't know if there is a great answer to it. On a little bit lighter note, I would like to ask you, though, Brad, what are some of the games you are looking forward to coming out in the near future? Things you've heard about or on your wish list?
I feel a little out of touch with what's coming out. Oh, I'm looking forward to... There was stuff I saw at XOXO. I got to play... This has been out for a while, or at least has been around for a while, but I got to play a bunch more of Johann Sebastian Joust.
Oh, okay.
You played that before?
I have not, but I have seen it listed up.
You've seen it? Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I don't know that it's ever going to actually be for sale. I think you have to like build your own system for it and get the controllers yourself and everything. But it's pretty fun. My friend Natasha has a game called Muscle Cat Showdown, which is looks pretty awesome. It's like a bodybuilding anthropomorphic kitten.
Nice.
Pretty much have to look at a screenshot to
Yeah.
get the impression. But you have to do pose downs.
Oh,
and,
nice. I can already
really
see the
awesome.
market of people that would enjoy that. I know these people.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I was kind of looking forward to Wasteland 2, but now everybody seems to say it's not all that great. And that's what got me into playing Divinity. Because people said,
Oh, okay.
play Divinity instead of Wasteland 2. So that's what I did.
Sounds like a good idea after all, if that's the case. Have you ever, just per chance, do you ever play League of Legends?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Ken.
That's a massively multiplayer deal, right?
It's massive
Or is it-
multiplayer, but it's not an RPG.
Okay.
It's not like World of Warcraft or anything.
It's in the MOBA genre, so it's a battle arena. It's one of these ones where you play a single character, going through a limited time frame where you level up and as a team try to take out objectives.
Oh, okay. Sounds hard.
Yeah, it's very competitive. It's actually the most played game in the world as of a little while ago. I think that was 24 million daily players or so. That's what I read, which is a little bit scary, especially popular in Korea and America. It's got its own TV channels now as well, dedicated, especially with the League of Legends championships going on this weekend, actually. So it's quite a big game. I just thought you might be interested because we are, as a community here, very big LoL players. So
I
It's just a
try
bit
and
of a treat.
sort of avoid online games these days. I used to have pretty good addictions to some. I did early days. I did a lot of time in Ultima Online,
Oh, nice.
oh, nice.
and
nice.
that was a bit of a life suck.
It's one of those. Once you can measure more than a full year of game time in a single game,
Yeah,
you know
it's just it's just
Yep.
And then I tried to get into World of Warcraft and then couldn't. I mean, I played it for a while, but I was just like, oh, there's so much jogging in this game.
It's a walking simulator. It's good fun.
Jog from one place to another slowly. And then like a lot of the competitive ones, I find I just don't have the, like, you'll get in with a whole bunch of buddies and they're really serious, and I'm like, not. So
You might want to
or
avoid
like,
League then.
or I don't, I'm not willing to like block time off for it. Like, we have to do this 4-hour game thing at Monday, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh god, I have other stuff. Sorry guys.
I totally agree. Your wife's there having a heart attack on your floor and like, I can't leave. I've got an hour and a half left. I'm sorry.
Really important. All my friends will be mad at me.
24 other people will be mad at me. I can't leave.
I just can't handle. I can't handle the pressure. I already have a job. I got stuff to do.
Oh, this is
already have-
exactly why I got out of WoW. Yes.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. No.
Okay, so with that then, going to the back, because you were talking about how you've been gaming forever. What was your first, like, either console or computer game or thing that got you into it that you remember?
I think it was probably, I mean, I had some dumb, old IBM PC, like, arcade games, but probably the first ones that I really loved were, like, Space Quest and
nice
Monkey Island, Police Quest. Those were
all the click adventures. Those were great.
Yeah. No, I wanted to. That's what I really wanted to do when I was a kid. I was like, I just want to make these games. But so far, has not come true.
Well, and unfortunately, we've yet to see a good resurgence of those. They just don't make games like Loom or Day of the Tentacle like they used to.
Yeah. No, there's a bit of a comeback happening, but it's definitely an old. Like, even when I go back and try and play them, I'm like, ooh, this really isn't fun. I mean, it's cool, good memories, but.
They've always existed, and I think they always will. But I don't think they're going to have a full resurgence. No, but I'm in the same boat. I used to think about developing games. I did kind of get hired as a software developer as of now, but it's not making games anyway. I can say that. I have in the past played with actually kind of a mod sort of thing, very text-based. I was planning on making an Android game which was story-based, and you had stats, and you'd go through it, and you'd put in your name, and that kind of thing. I've always liked the idea of it, so you never know, I might make a comeback if I make it big.
Oh, and speaking about the adventure games, I will say that basically the Walking Dead games are pretty much the new version of those classic adventure games.
So good.
Like,
so good.
They have a lot of the same mechanics, but they really upped the writing, which...
Yes, they, like you said, they hired writers, heaven forbid, from an IP that already existed.
Yeah,
what a rare idea.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you actually care about the characters, and things happen, and you're worried, and there's not really a lot of gameplay going on. Like, you don't have to do a ton. But so it's impressive that they get such a reaction out of people with so little, basically.
Hey, anything you do that creates that little bit of immersion, that little bit of you being a part of the story, really adds to it. And then you throw in a world like Walking Dead where you never know quite what's going to happen, but you know it's probably something bad. Yeah.
And I don't even really like the show. I read the comics, but I find the show really cheesy and annoying, and but the game actually was really, really good.
Yeah, I totally agree, and it's interesting because it's not really concentrating on the whole fear of it. There is some of it, but it's more focusing on the whole side of sadness. It's true despair. That's what that game will make you feel.
Yes, yeah, exactly. I do think they're making a bit of a comeback with the adventure thing.
I'd agree, yeah. So we're getting into the towards the end of the hour, and now we're going to break, and I believe you're going to be leaving us. So before we go to the very end, is there anything you'd like to give a shout out to? Maybe your Twitter, any other projects you're interested in, you want people to go visit, anything like that?
Yeah, follow me on Twitter, Brad Sucks. That's probably about it. I'm gonna have some new music coming out in the next while.
While? Oh, that's just very vague.
Yeah, I don't wanna get pinned down on a release date or anything.
The key is when it's done, Ken. When it's done.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
Can't shackle the creative talent, no.
Yeah, so I don't know, just pay attention to me on whatever social network. I'm also on LO, because that's really
new networking site.
Yeah.
I signed up for that today. I need an invite though, so I've not actually. I'm still waiting on that.
I can shoot one over to you. I think I got.
Oh, I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
I'm also on this even nerdier one now that just launched called tilde.club.
Oh gosh.
That's horrific.
So we all have tildes in our username.
I was gonna say I could just imagine. Yes, the tilde. Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in a very exclusive one known as kilter.co.uk. It's a Scottish social networking website that nobody uses.
What? Nobody uses it? It's not filled with Scottish people?
No, we have the weekly the meetings chasing the haggis for that, so you know.
Oh god.
Stereotypes.
Yes. Oh, that's awesome.
Okay, so I believe, but let's go into our break. So thank you so much, Brad. We really appreciate having you on. It's been a lot of fun. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, and
problem,
with
no
that,
problem.
we are going to go to a break, and we are going to listen to one of Brad's songs. We're going to be listening to Making Me Nervous during the break, and then we will be right back to get into a little bit more about what we've been up to and some news for the week. So thank you, everybody. Thank you very much, Brad. And with that, we are out of here for a moment. I have to hit the right button.
Send in your emails to
Shush.
show@vtwproductions.com.
Hey, this is John DiMaggio. You're listening to VTWProductions.com. So don't stop listening. Continue to listen. Why are you not listening? Wait a minute. What?
Here we go.
One step at a time, don't be living on the line. I don't need a friend, I got more than on the mind. Sunshine in my brain, making everyone complain. Radio in the heart, don't be being so strange. Think I'm losing it, baby, where have you been? Everybody says that you're moving again. I don't wanna be right, baby, every single night. I could tell you a thing about taking your time. It's making me nervous, yeah. One step at a time, don't be living on the line. I don't need a friend, I got more than on my mind. Sunshine in my brain, making everyone complain. Radio in the heart, don't be being so strange. Think I'm losing it, baby, where have you been? Everybody says that you're moving again. I don't wanna be right, baby, every single night. I could tell you a thing about taking your time. It's making me nervous, yeah. Think I'm losing it, baby, where have you been? Everybody says that you're moving again. I don't wanna be right, baby, every single night. I can tell you a thing about taking your time. It's making me nervous, yeah.
You're listening to Show X on VTWProductions.com.
Hey,
What
look
did
at
you
that.
do?
Look, you got back just in time. No, that's the whole, we do an interview, we get two people on, and then as soon as we leave that person, the video completely screws up, and the only way to get it back to you just right is to go back and recall you. And I'm still trying to find a better way to take care of that, so we'll see in the future. So,
Are we on air?
yes, we're on air. We are back with Show X.
Didn't know that. Hello,
Well,
everybody.
If you paid attention in the fact that I was like, hey, welcome back to Show X on VTWProductions.com. Hopefully you enjoyed our interview there with Brad Sucks, and please go out and take a chance to listen to his music. If you enjoy it, send him some money. He's done wonderful things for the community, and we'd like him to be supported so he can do more. And who knows, the more money he gets, the more likely he may be to get that new album out sooner, since we don't know when it will be available.
In the next
Anyhow.
2 to something else weeks.
Yes, exactly. In the next 2 to more weeks. All right, so with this, we're going to actually, let's go back to this since we skipped out a little bit, make sure the music's correct. We'll go back to here to say we'll now talk about us with a little bit of...
Functional deviations.
All right, Ken, so what have you been up to this week? And we'll try to keep everything succinct and short so that we can get through what we can, since we also have some emails.
Definitely, I'll take the hint. Fine, I'll be quick. So again, apologies for missing out last week's show. That was my bad, so apologies for that. However, since then, I've had quite an interesting little experience. Now let me actually shift over to screen share here. I'm sorry this is going to mess up all your video stuff, but I kind of want to do this.
See,
So,
you should warn me about these things, so I can like easily do
I
the
didn't
full
plan to
screen
right
edit.
now, though.
And, oh, I see.
I don't plan anything on this show. I just jump into it.
So we
For
see
better
everyone.
or worse.
All right,
So,
give us a screen
let me-
share and we will see you.
Let's do this. Okay. So hopefully I'm not getting any passwords on the screen. Okay, no, I don't. So this is Reddit, right? And the other day last week or so, I put up a little thread on this subreddit within Reddit called, let me remember the name of the actual subreddit. Reddit Draws or something. Reddit Gets Drawn. And the idea is, you put up things like pictures of people you know, your sister, your wife, your brother, whatever, and people try to draw it. Amateurs usually try to draw the thing you put up. And I put up Scotsman plus American. We got married earlier this year. Would appreciate anything, thank you. And that's the picture, the original picture there. There's me and Miss Kitten Features on the beach in Florida. Let me hide your own face here in the sharing window. And so
As
that's
I try
very
to-
nice.
I'm trying very hard to like make it so I can see this at the maximum size. I keep choosing the wrong video. There we go. Hey.
Hey.
Now I found the right
So for
right
everybody that
video
didn't see that,
stream.
let me do that again. And remember, this is for the YouTube stream. Apologies if you're not. I'll try and describe as best I can. There's a picture on the screen of myself and my wife at the beach, looking very much in love and very happy, and not at all cold. So I put that picture up onto the subreddit and asked for people to do whatever they could. We had about, I don't know, 20, 25, 30 comments, and about 5 different attempts. Now, I'll go from best to least upvotes, I'll say. This is the one that I am absolutely in love with. I don't know if you guys see that, but that is an absolutely stunning representation of myself and my wife, and I am so incredibly happy with it. It's just absolutely beautiful. Completely blown away. I can't believe random strangers would go out the way to draw something that beautiful. Absolutely amazed. So a big shout out to Reddit in general, especially the Reddit Gets Drawn subreddit, because that is absolutely amazing. There's loads of comments in that one saying, "Oh my god, that's beautiful, I'm crying," and stuff. This is really cool. Here's another one. There's a different kind of art style, different
Yeah, that's
impression
kind
of
of
it.
just the down to like a lower color count type thing, a little more blocky.
but I love it though. It's absolutely beautiful. It's his own little style, and I love the guy putting his own understanding into it, almost. You know, his own little feel to it. So I got a couple other ones doing quick sketches like that, just a quickie in a little notepad, which is cool. It's impressive. Still better than I can do. I'm still very impressed with that. I think this is actually, I've not actually seen this one, I don't think. Yeah, there's one that I've not seen before. That's pretty cool. It's weird having all these people draw me. That's a weird experience. It doesn't happen often, to say the least. And this one, okay, before I jump in here and laugh, and feel really bad about it. I appreciate anything these people are doing. I think it is the most amazing thing to be able to go out the way and show their work online. And let anybody see it whether they like it or not.
Oh, you're gonna say this one's bad. All right, let's see it. Hey, actually, what that reminds me of, that's almost like Joker art.
Yeah.
If like the Joker were to draw something of you, that's what that looks like. Other than
I think it's a
5-year-old
better
kid.
representation again than I could do, and I think it's great. I love the color schemes, and I think it's a very interesting piece. Is probably the best I'll say.
So the
I don't
individual
like-
who did this, who's now listening to the show and watching it and being thoroughly offended, who's now going to hunt you down and stab you for a criticism of their artwork.
I'm sorry, but look at the faces.
All right.
Amazing
so,
people on Reddit, and I'm
yes,
glad they're
for
getting
everyone
experience to try.
listening in, this is Ken trolling us all. But no, thank you very much,
apologize, I
Ken.
apologize.
That's funny. All right,
So yeah, there's some beautiful stuff in there, and I really do appreciate it. So that was really cool and a really unexpected, amazing thing. I went on and saw that I had points, and before I only had 1, now I had 510. And I was like, how did that happen? Did I say something funny somewhere?
So the
without meaning
thing
to?
that you did that made that thread work well was that you named it appropriately. You said,
Yeah,
so a Scotsman married an American, essentially, and
people are like, "Oh, it's a wedding thing. That's big. I could put my work on here and get it seen, and that's brilliant." And I'm glad I could help them, and they could help me so much as well. And that's absolutely beautiful. So I've shared it on Facebook, Twitter, and the rest of the places. So you can go check it out if you want to, or just check out the subreddit. Reddit Gets Drawn. Just go on Reddit and search for it. You'll find no problem. So other than that, I had Graham come join me this weekend from Friday till about 8 hours ago.
Okay.
We had a weekend of League of Legends. We also went out and drank and other such things, and that was good fun. On the Friday, got up at 6 a.m. after falling asleep at 1 or 2 after drinking heavily. So I woke up still somewhat drunk and hungover as well, feeling horrific to watch LCS for the first time.
Which is surprisingly entertaining, isn't it?
We're just gonna. I hope we can just blend our geek cred and our dysfunctional deviations here together, because I'm going to do it anyway. Because all we did all weekend is basically play LoL anyway. So first of all, we watched this, and we were like, at first I was like, I'm just watching somebody else play, and it just felt off. I was watching League of Legends, but people were talking over it. I was like, what's happening? I don't quite understand it. And after 5 minutes, after Graham told me which team he's supporting and some of the background of these teams, I was sort of like, oh, that was a good play. Oh, look at that. That was amazing. Oh, wow, that's impressive. How are they doing that? I didn't know you could do that. Look at that team play. Look, they were doing this thing called orb walking, which I'd never heard of before. Orb walking is when you move slightly, you attack something. You move slightly, you attack something. That way, you cancel the animation in between shooting, so that you actually shoot faster, and it makes you move around a little bit so you can stay in the proper positions. It looks quite difficult to do, and it's something I'm going to attempt to try on my ADC from now on. But it's something I learned about. There's a few other things you learn about. Amazing control of the map, dragon, baron control, which characters are currently the most popular for a reason. I always made jokes about Urgot being the most disgusting, horrific character ever, and he has the least win rate in the whole of LCS. Called it! He is horrific. However, he was recently taken over by Elise, according to a thread on the League of Legends subreddit, actually. So that's interesting. I thought Elise was quite a good champion as well. But
she is, actually. She's still very strong. Yeah. So, well, one of the fun things about watching the LCS is, especially because this is Worlds, right? What's going on right now is the World, so you have representative teams from all around the world all coming together into this final championship for the World Tournament. And in doing so, you get to finally see some of the different metas that you run into from different regions. Because in Europe, you'll have certain characters that are very heavily played and ones that just never see rotation. Same thing here in America, to Korea, to even separate down in Taiwan and things like that. And so when you see it all come together, what's nice is you'll see champions that you may really enjoy playing, but in your region, nobody plays or everyone thinks is very weak. And then you'll see examples of different kinds of strategies that are used that really maximize the abilities of that character, and suddenly you find out they're quite strong. We were watching a game that, what was it? It was the Koreans were playing against, I think it was the one against Cloud9, the one American team that was trying to make it in there, eventually got killed, but did a really good job, where they came out and they were showing the big play between Twitch and TF, Twitch and Twisted Fate, where it allowed them to triple gank lanes, because basically Twitch would go invis and creep up on a lane, so he is there, and then TF would be able to teleport for wherever he was into the lane, and they could all together be able to rape any lane that they got to. And just, they were taking people out left and right, where, you know, someone was trying to bait, oh, there's only 2 guys here, we got 2, or we got 3, we should be able to kill them. Next thing you know, there's an entire team at that battle when they were all over the different parts of the map, and that really worked out well for them.
Watching as well. So they're just watching the normal. That's the crazy thing as well. We see it as laning phase for about 10 minutes, and then slowly, when you get the turret down, then you move to other lanes. What these guys were doing is they somehow had the highest creep kills I've ever seen, even though they're never next to any creeps. They're always just fighting champions, because while they're in team fights, they are still last hitting minions and stuff. And it's just like, how are you moving away, attacking that minion, moving and that minion, while also CCing that guy and running away from this other guy and countering that? It's just like, how do you guys do this while following and taking instructions? It's just insane. And I can see exactly why this is a sport. Esports are a thing, and I used to always think they're not, but they're a thing. Hey, these guys are skilled.
I have the ability, and I've done it. I haven't done it this weekend, although I might do it for the finals. Putting it up on my big screen on
that's what we did
in the living room, grabbing some food and some drinks, hanging out, and watching it like I would football. Because one thing,
we did.
The key is Riot has put so much effort into it that even if you guys do not like League of Legends as a game, you don't like playing it or things like that, it's enjoyable to watch how they present it. It looks like you're watching a soccer match, or it looks like you're watching football or something like that. I guess I said the same thing to everyone there in Europe, but it's one of those things that the commentators are smart and they know what they're doing now. They're able to follow the play. The level of the skill being showed in the game is such a high level that you see things, like you said, Ken, that they're doing that you can't quite understand. Like, how are you able to accomplish that? with such dexterity. I saw so many like team fights occur where it really looked like it was going to swing one way, but then because one bit of masterful play by someone completely changed to the point where not only did it swing which team beat ended up winning that fight, but it got to the point where without even losing more than like a single character, and then they wiped the entire other team. They ace everyone else. And you see thank goodness Riot for getting to the point of doing like the slow motion replays. Because when it happens, I'm like, wait, but he's and gone, right? And then you see it slow motion, you're just like, holy wow.
That's there as well.
Were they able to like not only do this and catch this person with that last second bind and then flash away, turn around, come back as soon as the battle shifted over, still get last hits and just
Yeah, one of my favorite plays, pretty much exactly what you're saying. I guess you're talking about the same sort of scene. There was a Lee Sin one team that they actually lost in the end, so I'm going to give that kind of caveat there. But this one play was absolutely fantastic. So the enemy team were up by about 10,000 gold in advance, so they had like 2k each, more above the other person, above the other team each. Meaning they've got one end game item effectively each above them, which is a big leap, right? There's a huge difference there. So Lee Sin was in base with his other 4 teammates against the enemy team. Let's just call the ones in the base blue and the ones against red. Blue Lee Sin saw an opening. He saw Lucian take one tiny step forward, one half a pixel forward more than he should have. And he flew in there with his Q, ran ahead, used his kick ultimate through the Lucian back into the the blue team's base. All his teammates knew what was happening. Jumped on Lucian. Lee Sin got away somehow in your middle of 5 pro players, and you get away? That is insane. I just don't think they weren't expecting him to jump into the middle of them that way. And so they killed Lucian, and then the whole team knew we're going in. And they did. They went in, even though they were completely down on items and gold and experience, and they went in there and they killed them all, and they went and took Baron. And it was just a huge boon to the team, and they almost were equal in gold again. Just at one slip from that Lucian, one brilliant play from that Lee Sin can change the entire game. So people say when it snowballs, when the game's over at the start, it's wrong. It's wrong. It can snowball, yes, but you can switch. Skill can overtake a gold income like that.
Oh yeah, it's good play, it's positioning, and it is that coordination of the team. Because what you're talking about, the thing that you see in anybody, if you want to up your game in LoL, communicate. Everything in life, it's about communication. Everything. And what they do is those teams that are winning, that are able to coordinate like that, where when one guy goes in, they all know, they're talking it. They are making those shot calls where they have either one person on their team or a couple people who are their designated shot callers who say, this is what we're doing, this is when we're doing it, go, 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 things like that. And it happens. It's how you focus on a single character to know like who the threats are, to be able to pull them out, and that's how you effectively clear teams and do an ace. It's not random that they are doing these things. They really are coordinating and know what they're doing. So when someone goes in, it's like,
as well.
Yeah, and they know it's like
not even
we're doing
just
this.
like they all sort of wander towards Baron kind of at the same time. It's like they are in like a single file line on top of each other, moving exact same steps like a snake almost. It's amazing. It's truly impressive to watch that teamwork. I mean, I don't think people could do it with mouse cursors, let alone champions in a game that's so complex as League of Legends, within meta anyway. The one thing that's really interesting since playing that is noticing the shift in the paradigms within League of Legends and its sort of culture and its kind of the gameplay itself actually as well. When you see people jumping in game, playing and banning specific champions because they saw on LCS as being powerful, they're like, oh, we have to ban Tristana now and Yasuo and definitely Lucian. Because those guys are what they play in that, and same with Twitch now as well. Whereas before, Twitch was never really played. He hadn't been touched in weeks. Well, nowadays in LCS.
It's one of the reasons that if you do play the game a lot, it's worthwhile to keep track of what the pros are doing and watch at least a couple matches. Something I've failed at is because I don't keep up with what's the current meta. And so I don't know like some of these elite plays of where exactly to put wards and how often and what timing and things. Because it's all shifted slightly from when I played a lot of 5-mans and when I played rank. It's partly why I am the ARAM master. That's what I play because I know that I understand it is fun. Whereas the 5-man, I get very nervous getting into it because I'm like, now I got a team that's got to actually care if I, steal someone's CS or if I misclick or don't report someone missing in time and next thing you know it snowballs and we lose. It's much more critical. With an ARAM, it's more like we're all right here, so if I can watch you fail or something like that, and I can see when I made the mistake and everyone else saw it. It's a little easier.
Plus, no one cares because it's an ARAM. It's just a bit fun.
Yeah, you say that.
Ranked,
it's amazing how many people still care.
Yeah, but you're not going to get rewarded.
I have fun, but some people are just, So anyhow, and I don't want to belittle the whole league thing, except to say that it is going on right now, and it is something that I believe is a lot of fun to watch. I don't catch it nearly enough. If you want, you can go to their YouTube channel or you can go to their Twitch channel for Riot, and you can catch all the old games and what they've been doing. They keep it all archived up there. You can watch the whole broadcast.
Definitely worth watching some of them, by the way. Absolutely, definitely worth. Every single match I've seen so far has been it gets me excited. I don't even plan to support a team, but halfway through I'm like, they're the underdogs. I want them to win now. You know, it just happens.
Well, and for us, it was definitely like, American teams, come on, go against the Koreans, because right now it's like the Koreans are mopping up, but then you had some Koreans dropping games. And whereas last year, the Koreans destroyed.
People cry these things. One guy today at one of the matches, they won one match, then I think they won two, then they lost two, and it's out of 5, right? So it was sort of neck and neck. After they lost the last match, this one guy just sat at his desk afterwards. Everybody else got up and left for the drink or to go to the toilet or to discuss tactics. This one guy just sat there. You can tell one of the technical assistants came over and was like, "Hey buddy, you're supposed to move on." He's like, "I'm staying right here and I'm not moving." I don't know if he was angry or he was going to cry, but he was just in they went on
emotional state. He was so you have to understand, as much as people joke about whether this is or is not essentially a sport, it has a lot of similar things with it, where the competition that it takes a lot of focus and a lot of energy for people. And oh, by the way, they're playing for serious money. And the further you make it up that tier, the closer you are to going from where, hey, I may get a $1,000 paycheck for this month of playing games, or I may get a couple $100,000 paycheck.
And that's the difference, though, right? It's not just that money, and it's not just for that 1 month of playing. That's for the past 2 years of you practicing every single day for 4 hours, 5 hours.
It is this culmination where you've made money through tournaments throughout the year, you've been a part of this thing, and now this is your chance to really shine and get the big dollars. And so, just like any competition, you really will get amped for that. And hopefully, if you're something you care about, you'll put a lot of energy and heart into the effort of what you're doing. And so I understand when someone gets that kind of level of oh crap, where, good or bad, they get emotionally charged. It makes sense.
Yep, definitely. And absolutely amazing fun. I really thoroughly enjoyed watching and playing at the weekend. So we were just playing a lot of games. I have found, I believe it's because Graham is in silver and I'm in bronze. I'm in bronze 2 now. I got promoted a little while ago. And I'm I'm going up to promotion for bronze 1. Then I'm going to go to silver. I'm getting silver this season, damn it. I'm going to try.
See, Ken, you could have been like me and just qualified as silver your first time ever getting out of qualifications and then never play another ranked game.
Well, my mistake was playing with other people. I've learned that when I play by myself, I have a higher win rate. So whether that means I'm bad at teamwork or whether the people I play with are either better or worse than me, pulling enemies that are better or losing for me, I don't know which one that is. But regardless, I'm going to try and get ranked by myself to the next level. Speaking of ranked, that's the solo queue I'm discussing. However, there's also a team queue, which is a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
And we've got a good 4 people or so who are almost definites. Me and a few of my friends back here, Mr. Wayne, who all play American servers with me. And it'd be really nice if we had maybe a support or any position you really want to try out, maybe just to play around with.
You know how we talk about when you get how you talk about just in a regular queue when you have a 5-man queue and how much different that changes the pool of players that you go against? To when you do a 5-man team ranked?
Well, we've never played a single game with it so far, and dude, we've got 7 days before our name gets deleted because we've not played enough. So,
why? What team name do you have?
The Quality Boys. Do you not want to join?
I'm sorry. Wait, I'm sorry. Yeah, that sounds manly. Hey, we are Quality Boys.
No, in
looking
Scotland,
for
the
priests.
word quality is a
I
normal...
see. As you queue up for LFP, looking for priests. Come on.
No, this is more.
okay.
This is more of a. That's pure quality, man. That's pure quality. And saying boys is a very friendly thing, not necessarily belittling here. All right, boys, how's it going? Oh, this drink's pure quality. Yeah. You know, it's quite normal here. So
we'll see.
If you're interested in it's not even that important. It's just a hangout.
You do realize how often you try to troll me into ranked games, let alone 5-man games or anything like that. Where you're just like, oh yeah, we'll do ARAMs. Yeah, we'll have, wait, that says ranked. What are you doing here? Let alone
I'm just saying it'll be fun, even if it doesn't matter. We're just playing as friends, right? So it could be good fun. It adds a new level to it as well. It adds a different type of fun.
We'll see.
So I'm just saying if you're interested. Other than that, I think that's the majority of my week, but not in Geek, I'm afraid. Now, I need to ask a question. This could go on for a while after asking this little question. Has anybody played The Shadow of Mordor yet?
I know I've seen some people on the Steam list that have been playing it.
Oh, I've seen a lot of people playing it. I've seen a lot of people talking about it on Facebook and Twitter and saying, "Wow, this is where did this come from? This is a good game. I didn't hear about this. Where did this come from?" So I'm kind of interested, and I'm looking at the price. I'm like, I don't know if I wanna
It's a
pay that
full-price
just
game.
yet. It's my birthday next week, mind you, but I just had quite a
So
big weekend.
if
drinking,
anybody's
so-
looking at what Ken's wish list has on it on Steam, there you go.
no,
Not you, Copy. Not
no, not
you.
Copy. Especially not you, Copy. Not at all.
Everyone except Copy. Look at Ken's
no.
wish list.
No, none of you. None of you get me anything. Don't you dare. I'm just saying in general, if you played it, 'cause I want to hear more about it more than anything. I mean, I don't want to get it and then find out it's terrible, guys. Honestly, just don't buy me. I'd rather hear your opinion on it than anything. So if you have anything you want to say about it, send an email to showx@digitalrussians.com or send the IRC and I'll have a look in the IRC if there's anything interesting. Stoner says somebody in my house is playing it. It's £30 on Steam and the consoles are paying £40 plus. Yeah, I saw it for 52 for PlayStation 4.
Nope, that's still. We still have that little tip when it comes to the PC Master Race. Not
There's the
every
other thing-
company, but some are doing us that good.
You know, they say that PCs are more expensive to have a good gaming PC than it is for a console, and they're right, it is. But you're paying for quality, and the games are cheaper. So when you are like me, and you have, this is not me trying to show off or anything, because I know most people in the community have more than me, but when you have 271 games on Steam alone, never mind all the other platforms and other services, yeah, that little bit adds up. I probably saved money by having a PC at that rate. Then again,
I don't know. I can't say
because
because mine's still slightly above yours, as I sit at 290 on my list.
I'll have to install some free-to-plays so I can bump that up.
Yeah. See. No. So. Well, and we'll see, because I have a hope here in the next week-ish or less, I'll probably be building a PC for our friend Lieutenant Fork. Because she wants to come back and join the PC Master Race. We finally convinced her that it's the right thing to do because she's been saving her money for potentially an Xbone 1 again.
Oh, that's
Primarily
such a way
because
to
she
oh my god.
She has a vibrant history with people that she's played on live for years, with all the Halos, with when she's actually a very good player at Titanfall and things like that. And so she wanted to get back into that. We have since convinced her that she could get a PC for essentially the same price as the Xbone, or real close to it. So she has saved up about $600, and I have an effort, so I've made some lists and things that we will probably try to do this in about the next week or so that she will be able to come participate in the next Game Fest. So we'll be able to report very directly on the status of today, what PC versus console is doing, even after the consoles have dropped cost and such.
Definitely. And remember, you can always go into interest-free credit kind of things, get yourself a nice graphics card for a bit more than your budget, then pay it off over the next 6 months.
I will
You've
never.
already got the capital there.
I will never tell people to get credit cards to do something because
No, not credit cards. No. Different thing. Interest-free credit is when you buy an item. For example, our wedding rings, which can be very expensive up front. But if you get with interest-free credit, it means that you pay the normal same amount. You don't pay anything extra, but you pay it in like little sums instead.
So we do that as well, but for us, that all gets attached to essentially a credit card of some sort. No, say here in the United States.
Well,
that
I think
tends
you
to
have
be how we
have
do
that
it.
for in case you miss it.
Yeah, the whole point is in case you miss. Yeah, you can still pay it off, but like I said, I still don't advertise that to people. You know, however people acquire things, they can do it themselves. But I tend to tell people, have the money, pay for it, because I don't want to be responsible for anyone getting into some financial issues. That's just me.
Yeah,
Especially when you start going through when you go through our thread, because Pause 2142 specifically in the forums has put up a PC build thread. And now knowing Pause has some of the highest end PC equipment you can buy, or had when he built it. And so when he looks to purchase things, he has a certain level he looks at. And so when some people saw that his cheaper build, if you will, suggestion was somewhere around $1,200, please realize that's cheap for Pause. And for some of us, because I know if I were to price out a new PC based on what I'd really like to build today, it'd be close to stoner level for what I would be paying. Yeah. And so there's enthusiast and such. So there's a little change. Now I try to take that into account. And so when we talk levels, I can get a PC down to that $400 or $500 level and still game. So
now, speaking of hardware and the like, something I actually forgot to mention, even though I'm holding it the whole time I've been doing the show. I got a new mouse. For my birthday.
Hey, look, it doesn't even have a cord for your chinchilla to chew on.
Funny that, because Kitten Features actually bought me this. I wonder why. Why did she buy me a wireless one? Funny that. So with my £90, $150 gaming Razer mouse going down the drain last month, Kitten decided to get me a $20 or so, £12 wireless mouse from Amazon for my birthday. Now, since we were saving for reception, I specifically said, I set her the budget. I said, don't spend any more than this, but you can choose what I get, be it a mouse or other things. And she decided to go for a mouse that was actually from an Amazon link through Funny Junk, which was supporting Funny Junk since we do like that website and we visit it frequently, both of us.
Yes, you do.
So that was a nice thing for us to do. So not only is it supporting something that we like, but it's also supporting me, which I also like that. So that's good. I'm surprisingly happy with it because it's going down in quality and in price quite a bit. It's not got the highest DPI. I think it's about 2,400 or so. You can shift the DPI levels, and it is wireless, so it should drain battery. But on its normal setting, which is the same as this, with lights off, you can change it to that setting if you wish. It'll last 12 months, according to the seller. Not too bad. Regardless, I have a set of batteries next to me, so I'm not going to be playing a ranked game of League of Legends and have that run out. So I've noticed no difference in MS in terms of difference there, so it's completely fine. And if you're interested in getting a cheap, but I would recommend mouse, it's a TechNet, that's TECKNET cordless gaming mouse, model Z4. Nice little thing.
So name brand. No, it's funny because mice in general have gotten to a point where you can, let me rephrase it, you can buy bad ones. But, the base for what you're able to get these days in most computer technology is actually pretty darn solid.
Yeah, definitely. But with that, I think that's my entire week until I think something else in 2 minutes' time. So should we move on to some emails before jumping to yours? Or do you want
I can't have a week?
No, you're not allowed to have a week. I said before yours.
I don't have much to bring up. Mine will be short and quick. The biggest thing I was going to bring up is that, hey, not drinking is hard.
Are you doing the no drink October? Why?
No. I told you before. I gave up drinking.
Oh, of course. Yeah,
I continued with that. I still have not had any alcohol since I decided to let it go. But what I've come to find is not only do I get stuck where I'm at a project or doing something at my home alone where I kind of stop and think, it'd be lovely right now. A little bit of rum to go with, like my drink or something, and just sip here and edit photos and things like that. And just make the night go that much smoother and just nice. No. And so a lot of more water and milk have been consumed. But the other piece of it is that going out and doing things, equally difficult to not have alcohol. You would think, no big deal, you just order something, right? Well, I went to a fundraiser for a friend of mine. It's her Crohn's and colitis, my friend Rachel. I've done it before where we've done all these different fundraisers. I've talked about her on the show before, where she's trying to raise money. She's the one who runs half marathons for it. And so she was having one down at a brewery, go figure, or a pub, essentially, downtown, that I went to support to be able to donate some money to the cause and everything. But essentially, it was all tied into, because we're this, we're a pub, go ahead and buy drinks, and you get them all for a happy hour price the whole night. Yay! Any drink you want. So it's like $3-4 off what you normally would pay all night.
So did you buy all that stuff and put it into a jug for the next month, yeah?
No, what I did is I bought for others. And so I said, let me buy you a drink. And things like that. But it's just, the temptation is so there, because for one, it's just that the drinks taste great. What I drink, at least, tastes great. And so what I see, and right now, the Oktoberfest beer is on sale from Sam Adams. It's seasonal. It's that time of year. It's quite lovely, and so can't have that. I go somewhere, it's like, that would be quite nice right now. As well as, so essentially what I've done is I switched over to the most sugary soda drinks you can imagine, because I've been ordering like Shirley Temples and such. But it's still just not quite as satisfying. So I say this still with the understanding that I plan to break this vow when I come to Scotland. And it'll probably kill me. I plan on starting on the plane to get myself ready.
That's a good point, actually. Genuinely, you might. The first thing we're doing together is the reception.
Yes. Oh no, Ken, I've discussed, just like the Tough Mudder, just like my breakdancing school, just like my martial arts, just like everything else I'm doing, I'm trying to find new ways to kill myself early. And so abstaining from alcohol until I go to Scotland, at which point I go have a drunken binge with a bunch of Scottish men, sounds right up my alley. So it's a good decision I'm making, right? Exactly. I will perish. And
you must genuinely bring yourself some multivitamins.
I will.
And a throw-up bag. Because you're going to need it. You're just going to need it.
No. We'll see what happens.
Let me tell you about the drink
culture. I have only thrown up from alcohol once in my life.
I think I'm only twice. But the drinking culture here in Scotland is different, though. if you are out drinking and you throw up, you then have another drink to get rid of the taste.
Ooh. So yeah, no, I freely understand what I'm doing to myself, but I will note that it's surprisingly difficult to just comfortably not drink, and so I'm learning and I'm failing. I don't know. What else have I done in the last week since I wasn't on the show last week, and since you failed to manage a show last week? I've had 2 photo shoots again. Gee whiz, I need to stop this. I did one for a friend up north where she had a beauty school. They were doing I'd have to make money off my shoots first. That's part of the problem. But we shot a bunch of pictures of some lovely gals. They were doing makeup that was kind of over the top for a showcase, so that was fun. Shot some photos this morning. First thing, getting up early for friends of mine. They wanted some more family photos since their son is about a year old now. Things like that. And so, kind of running around, still doing a lot of photography. Trying to think of anything particular I've done with it lately. I don't think there's anything really that crazy, so that's all good. So that's pretty much my big pieces of what's been going on for the week. Yep. So with that, I think it's safe for us to transition in and talk about what everyone else has been doing. And so with that, hey, I will actually be able to, since this is the proper time for it, switch over to Geek Cred. So with that, we will go there. Maybe? Oh, I confused Sam. It was like, wait.
How unlike Sam
I'm
to
a
get
geek.
confused.
Are you a geek? Geek cred, level up!
It wasn't expecting me to do that. It's like, no, Wayne, I don't want to do that for you now. Anyhow, we do have emails. And so, jump into the first one because it says a wall of text. Although it looks like it's a response to a wall of text. We'll see how this goes.
That's not our first one.
Wait, that's not?
No, our first one, which you already clicked on red, I noticed, is from Miss Roxy, which says, OMG, Nikki B favorited my tweet.
Wait.
Nicholas Brendan.
Oh, that one.
And I just sent the link as kind of like spamish.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't click that because it's just a bunch of tweet links.
Nicholas Brendan. IMDb.
Come on.
The Buffy guy. I knew that.
Ah, yeah, of course, Ken.
Yeah,
you were all over that.
yeah.
Yeah, I knew exactly
Who
what
doesn't
you were
know
talking about.
So she got retweeted by the guy who was Xander?
Oh, okay. Yes.
Xander? I think it was
Yes.
Xander. I may be making up, but yeah, that guy. the one who might have looked a bit camp, I think. I don't know. No wait, that's the vampire guy. Oh no, there's a picture of him here. I know who that is. Yeah, so that's cool actually. That is pretty cool to get retweeted by somebody or favorited by somebody like that. That's pretty awesome. But yes, that's our first email, so thanks to Rox for that. That is definitely some geek cred there that's been awarded, definitely.
Thank you, Ken. All right, keeping me honest. Let's see, the next one I gotta see if I get this right because it's got a retweet built in there. And so it's one that's, let's see, I'm trying to realize if I need to read both of these parts or not. The one from AgriSSW / you see the one I'm looking at?
Yeah, I believe so. I don't know. He's saying he wrote it on the 20th of September, so yeah, I think so.
Okay, well,
That part.
then we'll do both of these. All right. So it says, okay, because it's got a PS on the end of it saying, PS, the film is scheduled to air. Okay, so we'll try to read the main part and then go through. My mistake. Greetings, oh sirs of the great and powerful X. AgriSSW here once again after a long time of not writing in. Lots of things been going on since last time I wrote in. Firstly, I lost my job with Ponybank a month ago, and I'm on the job hunt once again. But now, on to the geeky stuff. Over the past month, I've been playing lots of WoW, and even more exciting, my lovely girlfriend Ambrosia Hartnett got some proper internet and has been able to play with me on a regular basis. Woohoo! We even started a small fun guild on the Moonguard server with some friends so we can play and quest without having to worry about max level horde ganking us because they have no life. Aside from WoW, I got my girlfriend interested in Warhammer 40k. Oh, wow. She has decided the Necrons are the army she finds most interesting, and I will soon start her army. Oh, the money sink you're running into. Also, on the subject of 40k, Ambrosia has been painting my Space Wolves and doing a phenomenal job. She's even going to show off her work at our local Games Workshop store next month in a contest. We'll post pictures when all is finally set up and done. That is very cool, in fact. Finally, Ambrosia and I had a great day since we went to go see My Little Pony Equestria Girls Rainbow Rocks, the second movie, and it was beyond epic. For all you bronies out there listening, I know who you are. This was a vastly better than the first movie, so if you have the opportunity to see it, I would recommend you do. The conversations I share with my fellow bronies after the show were great, and it leaves us looking forward to the next season and perhaps future films. That is all for my week. Let's see. Sorry for the wall of text. Thanks for reading this email on air. We'll have to catch up on this on the archive since my brother just invited me to go with him to Long Beach Comic-Con as I wrote this email. Yes. Agris SW leveled 90 Human Paladin Guild Civil Warcraft Shattered Hand US, as well as now let's see if I say it right. Thaddeus?
Yeah, maybe.
Thaddeus, level 21 Worgen Warrior on Guild's Silverwind Crusade, Moonguard US, the Paladin of Ambrosia Heartnet. And says in there, so it says, P.S. the film is scheduled to air on Discovery Family Channel on October 17th, 2014, and will be released on DVD and Blu-ray on October 28th. Thank you very much. I look forward to both of those. Next, sir.
Ponies.
Hey, the first Pony movie was alright. If this one's better, I can't wait to see it. Go.
This is from Cupcheck. First things first, and apologies in order, but there is something to get off of my chest. And yes, I also think a spoiler alert is in order. This is a Hearthstone spoiler, FYI, everybody. If you play Hearthstone, you're ready to get a spoiler.
There can be a spoiler for Hearthstone?
Apparently.
Isn't that a
enough time
card game?
to pause the stream momentarily or mute it so that you don't hear it.
Yes, if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see us give a thumbs up when we're all done spoiling. Okay.
No, wait, we're done. Oh, that's the opposite of what I did. Okay, thumbs down. There we go. Okay. Hitting level 60 in Hearthstone gives you jack crap. I spent 5 hours a day for a week solid, not only grinding the ladder in ranked mode, but I found out that I was about to hit level 50, so me and my Zoo Warlock deck were on the grind for a grand total of 30 hours grinding from 50 to 60 on my Twitch channel and off. As I sit and get my ass kicked from the complete range of decks, from the really good decks to the horrible ones that I shouldn't have lost to. Damn combat math. Anywho, I'm about done with the game. Then the streams that come on about the road to BlizzCon. Damn, I'm back in again. In hindsight, I don't think this wall of text, just too damn lazy. I don't think this is a wall of text. I'm just too damn lazy at the moment to change the subject line. But you can write out a sentence longer than the subject line.
Yes, in order to let us know that you're not giving us a wall of text.
Okay, thank you, Cupcheck, for sending in that email. I've not played Hearthstone in a long while, actually. Kitten was playing it last night, actually. She still plays it on and off, but not majorly. Just when it's there. But I've not watched the road to BlizzCon either. It seems very lawlish to me. It seems like they're kind of stealing that whole LOL thing, don't you?
Well, so it's everyone else realizing that Riot has done an amazing job with their marketing and creating a compelling story for the gamers that are part of it. And you just don't have
story,
that
not as in lore
community.
either. Story is in the actual real life.
The story of the
playing
players. Yeah, the players themselves, not the gaming lore. And they've done an amazing job of it. It makes it so watching the stream for a Riot game is fun the whole way through. And heaven forbid you now learn about characters or people in the... Sorry, not characters, but the people playing the game and their life stories. And some of it's really, really good and heartfelt. It's kind of like... Yeah. And it is that industry of the first people coming into making gaming their life and their job, and how that's not necessarily the norm, and how that can be a challenge.
It's a bit of a gamble as well, though.
Yeah.
We say job, I'd say it's also a gamble. I mean, you're going in there hoping to win. I mean, no matter how much you try, there's a level of natural talent in there as well, and chance and luck that you can, and even just like if you're ill on the day, or if you don't feel quite right, or if you've had a bad curry the night before, it's just a mix of things that you can't actually account for. If you put your entire career job into this like 45-minute match of League of Legends, that's a bit mental, isn't it? That's a bit crazy. But I'm not saying it's a bad thing either. I'm definitely glad they're doing it.
So just a quick note, damn you, Pause. $40 for Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor thanks to Green Man Gaming. Just click on the link and use the code that Pause has added. Damn it. Why do you do this, Pause? I'm trying to get through Assassin's Creed 3 right now, which I've been streaming, just so I can get to finally play Assassin's Creed 4. And I've been looking at it, and it sounds really, really good. Anyhow. All right, so thank you for the email in there, Cupcheck. I'm going to skip one and let you go back to that one because I promised I would read this from Copy when she asked if she should write in this week. And of course I said yes. And so the subject to this one is Copy Mail and a Minor Rant. Greetings, Mr. Wayne and Dr. Lord Reverend and Bachelor of Science, Kenneth Neil Reed II.
Thank you.
Here's
Thank
a
you.
very last minute copy mail for you. Firstly, apologies Cupcheck for showing off the Tim Hortons hoard that I picked up just before the show. I'll try to mail it out after work tomorrow. I know you've been waiting a long while to get restocked. I don't know which hot chocolate to get, so I got both. I really hope you like the non-coffee treats. You see, Copy, stop that. So hopefully he's buying them and you're just sending them. On to the real mail. Quote, the game is still delayed. Sega is currently working on bringing Phantasy Star Online 2 to the West and will continue or will update as soon as we know more. End of quote. This is the response that Sega has been copy-pasting on their Twitter page every time someone asks about it. A playable English demo was made available along with the announcement of a, quote, early 2013 release.
That's embarrassing.
Back in the summer of 2012. The old pay-to-play Phantasy Star Universe servers were shut down some short months after this, and everyone got crazy hyped, expecting it to be back online with their friends to explore the new world in mere weeks. We're now within reach of early 2015,
Yep.
and there's no sign of the game's English existence beyond Southeast Asia. Even the PSO Wiki has removed the would-be North American and Europe entries. I give up. F you, Sega! My sister and I are now playing Phantasy Star Online Blue Burst, the PSO episodes 1, 2, and 4 on a private server because Sega apparently doesn't want our money, and we all know Copy's spending habits. 15 copies of Gauntlet.
How do you buy 15 by mistake?
She didn't buy them by mistake, and everybody has received a copy in your email if you haven't checked your Steam lately. Which is
I got
why
a
we
copy as
should
well. Thank you, copy.
exactly, which is why we should all be playing that after the show.
Yes.
So yeah. Also, I got Smash 4 on the 3DS. Don't ask me what it's like though. I've been spending my time on Gauntlet, Hyrule Warriors, and Phantasy Star Online. Copy collecting games again. Okay, so not quite the minor rant I stated in the title. I guess my burning hatred for Sega is hotter than I thought. Turkey Day is coming up
Just
in
like me.
Canada. And so, I might be away next week. If nothing else, I'll send happy gobbles to the world. Bye for now. Much love. The original Copy, Wandering Druid. Thank you very much, Copy, for the mail. We always appreciate your additions for us. And yes, you need to stop with the crazy spending habits. Save some money for yourself. Buy yourself something nice and shiny other than digital. Who knows?
And Thanksgiving, that's an interesting way of saying maple syrup, bags of milk, and kind of French day.
On the backs of moose. Yes,
Yes,
exactly.
the backs of... Yes, moose. I wanted to say mooses, but that's not a word.
yeah.
Yes.
All right, sir, do you have the next one for us?
Yes, the last final one, I believe, unless one gets sent in the next 12 minutes. Yes, that's right. I am back. This is from the Mighty Stoner. I better preface that with. Sorry for my long break, but unfortunately the IRLs have taken up a lot of my time. I am now at university/college and a full-time student. I have just finished my freshers week and many alcohols were consumed, with no hangovers to boot. I am now into my studies and learnings to be an indie games developer, and it's amazing. I promise I am now back to take up my mantle of show rep. It is going to be an amazing 4 years, and it's incredible already. From Lord of the IRC. You don't give yourself titles. Copy can give you a title if she so wishes. She is the... Because I have it now to say, she's the official title giver
Provider?
of VTW. Of the show X anyway.
Yes.
So...
The anointer of titles.
Yes,
Copy.
that's a better title. That's why I don't give her titles, because I can't give her titles.
Well, so I assigned her a title now, so she can use that beyond her own Wandering Druid. She can also add into her emails now the assigner of titles.
Yes.
And so
yes, I like this word. So yes, that's great. Congratulations on getting into uni, Stoner. Welcome to a level of higher academia within your life, and I hope you do enjoy actually activating and using that big lump of mass within your mind, within your head. Please do enjoy that. Yes, so after the show, like we were mentioning, actually, we are going to have a gaming night. I have promised Kitten I'll make her tea, but other than that, I will be joining for the gaming night. She doesn't look too happy that I'm making her tea. I don't know why.
Because maybe she's still just not happy with you making her eggs for dinner.
I don't know what she's saying. Yes, she hates almonds partly, I guess.
Just evil eyes out of the side with her mouth moving. I see how it is. You're lucky she's not hearing what I'm saying.
Yes, true. Do you want to say something, dear? Okay. Oh yeah. Okay, I'm not going to be talking about the gaming night. I forgot. She's going away on a training course in the next week, so I better go actually spend time with her and stuff. having a wife.
Oh, look at you! Look at you teasing us.
Having a wife.
Teasing us, Ken. Oh, it's this whole having a wife actually co-located with you, right? Throws you off your game.
One that's actually in the same country. I should probably spend time with and stuff. Do you want to come say hi to everybody? Come say hi. Come say hi.
Yeah, see, we got to see Kitten before the show started when we were saying hi to Brad, but now that it's just us.
She's not got makeup on, so.
Oh wow! Listen to her. Look at that as she shows the fake face in the IRC or in the video. That's
this
fun.
is Sith. This is Sith features.
Yeah, Sith features. Darth features.
Darth features. Yeah.
Or Darth Kitten.
That's her new title. Darth Kitten. She prefers. She prefers Darth Kitten.
It'd be Kitten Sidious. All right, thank you, Kitten features. Oh, that's great.
Okay, yeah, so yeah, there is going to be a gaming night, and there's a chinchilla in the room. Gee, don't swear on air! Oh my god! Can you mess this up anymore? You should be glad Brad from Brad Sucks isn't on anymore.
See, I just have roommates who come in and kind of say, oh yeah, you're doing the show. It's good. Kitten features is an active participant.
Chinchillas and swearing on air, jeez. Okay, yes, there's a gaming night on after the show. Come join in the Ventrilo. The details are on the main website, and I'm sure the Stoner will actually give us a link.
He has been tweeting it out or putting in the IRC as we talk. So yes, very much so. Thank you, Stoner.
Indeed.
All right, and welcome back, Stoner.
So,
we appreciate you being back to be able to do all of the mighty IRC repping. We appreciate it. We need it, and that way we can get everything out to all of you. What else is going on? So, do we have time to actually talk about news?
I would say we have time for this. Yes.
All right. So with that, oh, come on, Sam. Do it, Sam.
Technology, news, and more today on the Geekoscope.
Yay, Sam! Listen to you. So, trying to think. There was one in particular that I was. There's a couple little ones I had. There's one in particular I wanted to bring up that was timely-esque or slightly behind the time, but it was a recent article. And so, the one I wanted to bring up talks about Google, and it talks about the discussion and things that we had run into with the leaked photos of celebrities. Okay?
Yes.
Yes, and this one I got from News 360, like I always do. And so it goes in, and this one's from Mashable, and it says, Google responds to the lawsuit threat over celebrity nude photo hack. So remember, the hacked photos came from an Apple device, or multiple Apple devices using the automatic iCloud backup service that it had, and people being able to hack into that stream and pull those files off. Nothing to do with Google. However, the article says, on the heels of a $100 million lawsuit threat over a celebrity nude photo hack, Google has released a statement deriding the photo leaks. It says, quote, "We've removed tens of thousands of pictures within hours of requests being made, and we have closed hundreds of accounts," a Google spokesperson said in an email to Mashable. Quote continues saying, "The internet is used for many good things. Stealing people's private photos is not one of them."
So yes, it is. That is one of those things.
Well, so as it goes further, a lawyer, Marty Singer, who says he represents about a dozen famous women who were affected by the hack, sent a letter to Google saying essentially, Google is making millions and profiting from the victimization of women. The letter demands
technically that's right.
Well, the letter demands that Google suspend or terminate YouTube and other Google accounts hosting private celebrity images, as well as remove images available through search engines, among more terms. Singer's letter goes on
Google is a tool. It is not an ethical thing. It is a tool for everybody to use.
This is the whole reason I wanted to bring this up. The whole reason I wanted to bring this up is because, yes, Google as a business provides a service primarily for things like YouTube channels, but also for search engines. That's their whole thing, is they are a major search engine, is what got them into the business. Their primary revenue is from ads, right? We know this. This is for everyone, right? So the question comes out, is it Google's responsibility, as they are essentially trying to capture everything available on the internet and make it available to you through search engines. Is it their responsibility to go through and police every single link that one of their bots goes through the internet to ensure that it doesn't violate somebody's concern or copyright or things like that? Is that what they're supposed to do?
So in response to that, my point would be partly, right? There are certain things that should be removed from the Google search engine. For example, if there's something virus-ridden that will actually affect its users, because as a company that would make sense to stop that. Other than that, everything's still accessible without Google. Yes, in a sense, they're effectively advertising it by allowing people to search for certain things. So if you search for certain terrorist things, you could probably find certain terrorist things. However, you could also do the same with, again, this new controversial European law where you can have the right to be forgotten. Where you can say, well, I can go and call up Google right now and say, Google, for some obscure reason, I, as an internet podcaster, don't want to be on the internet anymore. Please remove my name from all your links. So anything to do with me, they will remove as a link. So if the BBC has a single picture of me somewhere in the background of one of their articles completely unrelated to me, they must remove it legally from the search engine. So they will never find Google. You'll never find the article on the BBC through Google again, which is ridiculous because I don't think any individual have a kind of strange power. I don't think it's very fair for us to try and make an organization have to police an entire huge massive thing like that that's kind of unrelated. It's just a tool. It's not a means to be an ethical machine. Now, my next point would be, now people would scream victim blaming at me for this. But let me give you a few examples. If I walk around on the street in a place known to have a high level of violence and robberies, and I have several wallets on me and money hanging out in my pockets, and I walk down the darkest alleys I could find, is it still my fault if I get money stolen from me? Is it at all? I would say I definitely didn't help the situation, right? So if you take naked photos of yourself and you put it on your iPhone and you think it's safe, if you've turned on your sync, you're accepting, and you've accepted a clause inside the agreement that Apple has said, that's why they're not in trouble for this, saying that you accept that these privacy concerns you're okay with. It's in a cloud on a server somewhere, and you're okay with that. You accepted those conditions. I'm not saying you should never take nude photos of yourself. I'm saying at least think about it. Maybe put an airplane mode, not sync it to the cloud. And I'm not saying, again, you didn't deserve that. Of course you didn't deserve your pictures to be taken. That's completely unfair, and those people are assholes. But you need to accept that the world has assholes. You can't just assume they won't do it because you don't like assholes. That's not how the world works. Just because you don't want it to happen doesn't mean it won't happen. You don't. The same reason we lock our doors at night. You know, we do that because not because we accept that thievery is okay. We're just saying that it might happen. So we're going to take some concerns and steps to try and prevent it if it does happen. Don't put your things on the cloud if they are private and you don't want people to see them. Even if it's encrypted, even if it's safe, there's always a back door.
Well, and
this is a walk in the world and let people know that. That
is one of the things why I bring it up the way I do, and why I just wanted to mention this, because my issue when I read this article was not, basically it's that they're trying to hold Google responsible, or they're threatening to, for them not, I guess, reacting quick enough to what their bots are finding out there. My argument is they have always had, as a company, a policy that said if you see content on any of our services that you don't believe is appropriate or doesn't belong there, notify us and we will then work our best to take it down. And I agree with that policy. What I disagree with is people assuming that they need to be the ones on the forefront of doing it for them. And so if you go out there and do a query, my problem is I don't want them to suddenly change how a search works. I don't want them to have, if you now look for Jennifer Lawrence, something like that, and you look for whatever name that goes appropriate with the pictures that were leaked, I don't want them to go ahead and say, if you're looking for Jennifer Lawrence pictures, you must be looking for these nude ones, and therefore we're not going to return any results that would normally come up from it. I believe it should be a case-by-case thing. And yes, that puts us in a point where people could dodge it and get around the system and stuff, but I think that's the right way to do it versus any of these, big-handed, we're just going to do it this way because it's easy, or so. I just don't think it's Google's responsibility. Is kind of where I'm getting at.
Think be it they remove these links or whether they don't, I think it's up to company policy and it shouldn't be up to social or law behind that. I think if Google says, look, this is bad publicity for us, we're actually losing money from this, and it looks really bad in our name, we should take this all down. You know what, that's their decision. It's their search engine, they can do it, they're the company behind it. But I think if you send a letter from saying, oh, we will sue you because you're making money off of this, that's ridiculous. That's like saying knife companies are making money off of stabbings, so we should stop selling knives. No! No, they're tools. People are the assholes. We should add preventions to stop people being assholes rather than removing the tool in the first place. That's how it should work, right?
Fair enough, and I don't disagree. All right, we are at the top of the hour. It is time for us to call things good. We want to thank again our friend Brad Sucks for joining us and letting us know a little bit about his life in the music industry and him giving out and doing great things for us as a community, since he does support essentially the PodSafe music, although at the same time, pay him. He's talented. It's good stuff. All right, so with that, we're going to call it for the week, and we are going to try to get things out. Ken, can you give us a quick synopsis and let us out of here?
Yes, I can. We're playing the VTW Gaming Night tonight. I will not be there personally, but other people will. Go and check us out. Go to the VTW Productions main site, and you will find the interesting pieces of information you need to sign in to the Ventrilo server. Then you can join and talk to other people and play games with them. For your information, we'll probably be playing, so go try that out. We also have a Twitter account. Go to twitter.com/VTWShowX, twitter.com/GoHikes, and twitter.com/DocDead to check us all out. And I believe /Brad Sucks, or you can just search for it on Google and you will find him. He's a verified account. You'll know which one is his.
Yes.
Also, check out our Facebook, ShowX there. Send us some emails. showx@VTWProductions.com, and check out our forums and all these other shows on the station as well. So many good things to check out and spend time with us. We thoroughly enjoy it. Thank you for having me on the show, sir.
As always, Ken, thank you for joining me. So yes, check out all the shows on VTWProductions.com. Also check out the front page and see if you haven't. You need to go check out the posts that were put up there by Volasil about GamerGate and some of his thoughts on the subject. And so with that, you've been listening to Show X, and we will catch you again next week. Goodbye, everyone, and see you at game night.
Bye. See you next zombie. Good night.